Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. Well, this is embarrassing. I usually have great records on all of my tracking information of what's coming in, who it's coming from, and have all of my stuff ready for you. But I tell you, I have no idea what's inside this box. I think it's related to smartwatches, unless Mrs. Ticks ordered a handbag or something. It doesn't look like that, does it? So, we're both going to be surprised when we get inside of here to see what we've got. Wow. Okay, it's a little tough. Oh, I see. It's a combination of tape and cardboard. Well, this whole front panel is open, so let's get in here. I know some of you out there are probably laughing at the challenge I always have getting into these, but hey, it's fun. It's a Smartwear. Usually they say smartwatch. This says Smartwear in a black box. I still don't know what it is. All right, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. It's a smartwatch user manual. It's a smartwatch. I still don't know what it is. Do you? Oh, I know what it is. Well, I kind of know what it is. Whenever you see a camera with two little bumps on the side and a button down there, I recognize that. And yep, and a SIM card slot. This, folks, I'm pretty sure, is what is known as the H1. H1. That's the first highway ever built. You know where the H1 is? Me either. But it probably was way back there. Maybe in Greece or Rome when they first... Anyway, I'm digressing. The H1, what does it say on the back? It says Smart Wearable Device. That's good. Brings you health, moving track. Wow, that's deep. Well, obviously we're going to need to now find all the information and print it out for you so you can see who sent this and how you can get yourself one. Here's a charging connector, as we would expect. And it looks like it's the standard little, the standard connection that we've seen on many of these smartwatches, which is awesome. It means you can get extras of these pretty easily these days. Really strong magnet. Yeah. Speaker, heart rate monitor, button, camera, SIM card. Really nice stretching rubber TF style band with a nice big buckle. Yeah, we'll try it on after we get it going. And a user's manual. So the user's manual looks like this. Okay. Terms and conditions. Basic introduction to the watch. Color pictures. Again, if you want to read this in detail, just pause your YouTube. You should be able to catch it. Multi-page is in here. Only with Android phone, Bluetooth is successful. Okay, that's good to know. Only with iOS, Bluetooth connection is successful. All sorts of function operations to achieve remote music only support mobile phone and Apple Music Player. So I guess it'll tether and work with iOS and Apple to some extent. It looks like it's using the FunFit app, which you can get from the Google Play Store. Many of the watches use that one. It's got fitness and a really nice data display with lots of detail. We're going to have fun with that. Okay. There's the QR code in case you want to scan it and download it directly, or like I said, you can get it from the Google Play Store. Wow, this is all English, this manual, and a lot of it. About iPhone, Android data synchronization. These Android watches, as you know, are standalone watches, which means that in order to make phone calls and do text messaging, you actually have to put a SIM card in it. They won't tether for doing that function to your phone. In case you're confused by that, take a look at the beginning video that I've put together that helps explain all about these smartwatches to you. And don't get yourself stuck with a watch you think is going to be tethering and find out that it's not. Well, let's take off the little plastic covering over the watch face. And before we jump in, I wanted to mention that in the box was this screwdriver too. And if you look at the tip, you see it's not a normal screwdriver, it's a specialized one. And it's used to take off the screws to remove the removable bands. Yeah, these bands are removable and replaceable. Although, you got to get the right size. But when you take this off, you can remove the bands and change them out. The bands on here are really nice, stretchy TPN style of band. Really good quality. Well, the watch is already up and on, and it's anxious to get started. So let's do that. This is the H1. It's really, really similar to the prototype we reviewed a long time ago called the JM01 with some changes. So we're going to go quickly through everything on this watch and highlight some of the modifications that have happened since the prototype was released a few months ago. First of all, it seems to want to constantly turn itself on, which is nice. If your arm is up, it'll light up if you have those features turned on. For orientation, here's the home page, the watch face page. When you swipe down, you come up with 3 panels here. The first of which shows you your power, your SIM card, turn on and off data, and on and off Wi-Fi. If you scroll to the left, you get these 4 icons: airplane mode, your special SOS button, a tethering icon, and then going into your settings with the FunOS and the current time displayed. And if you go to the right, you have this, where you can go into silent mode, vibrate or volume, Bluetooth, your brightness, where you jump in here to change our sleep time. Let's make it long. How long can you make it? 30 minutes all the way down to 15 seconds. 10 minutes ought to be good. And of course, you can tap here and slide your brightness to change the brightness of the screen. So we get a good video. Okay, that all happens here. This one is your apps, where you can close any recent apps that you had running. Nice. Those are the 3 panels you access from swiping down. When I swipe up, I get into a whole bunch of different things. I'm going to go all the way to the left first. This is the compass. The built-in compass, which is pretty accurate when it's all calibrated and working. North is pointed right at me, and it catches up to me. So you have a really good compass, followed by your information on your sleep time, your total hours of sleep, and your hours of light and deep sleep that it's recording if you wear it to bed. Your pedometer information, steps, calories burned, kilometers walked, and these little arrows and segments highlight how well you're accomplishing your goal. So you can quickly look to see if you're meeting your daily requirements. This one gets you to the heart rate. If I leave it here for more than 3 seconds, it'll start doing the heart rate. This is weather data. And although it's here, it's not totally calibrated and working yet. This is common. I've seen this implementation of Android 5.1 with other companies like Number One. And they're all tied to a central server, and there's problems getting weather in different parts of the world. So it's a known problem that's being worked on. When it's fixed, boom, your weather in your current location should just light up right there. This is a music player, and it's been updated a little bit with a pretty picture. Here's your barometric pressure, also tied to that weather. When one works, they all work. This will give you your overall barometric pressure, and this gives you your altitude, again tied to barometric pressure and weather. And for climbing or doing running or whatever you're doing where you're going to gain and lose altitude, this is a nice feature to have because it'll tell you that. All right, those are all of the dots that you see at the bottom here that we accessed by scrolling up. Scrolling down got us those three. Scrolling up gets us to there. Scrolling to the right gets us into all of our apps in our app drawer, which can be laid out in a whole variety of ways. In this case, it's a 4x4 matrix. And scrolling left takes us into the fitness area. And this is a robust fitness area where you have all these different activities that you can engage in, like walking, running outdoors, running indoors, mountain climbing, cross country, a half marathon, a full marathon, bicycling, and then your history and your settings. So you pick a sport, we'll go into this in a minute, and you can kind of work with it. It's really, really good information you're going to see. Your sports history, when you click here, will show you a summary of what's happened. There's 2 dots here. You've got a total mileage, and then time and these other factors here, and then your overall sports records. We haven't done any yet. We're just getting this watch started, but this is where that data would accumulate in the sports history. Then in the settings, we have a little bit of a change from the prototype, and actually they've stripped out quite a bit of the functionality that used to be here. You can set a reminder to remind you every kilometer that you accumulate. What we used to have, and sad that it's not here, maybe it will come back with future firmware updates. You could also set time if you wanted to do a workout for 10 minutes or an hour or whatever, you could set that. A really nice one was to have it notify you when your heart rate went above a certain threshold. If you look at our review we did on the JM01, all of those elements are covered. And as you can see, they've all been reduced down to just one notification. However, you now also have the user information in this area where you can change your age, your gender, all of the things pertinent to calculating the health information is right there. And like before, you can change the background to black and white if you prefer that the background be really dim. You see it barely back there? My reflections are brighter than the background is. But it's the same pictures that we had before. They've just been suppressed and made black and white. So if you're outdoors, this is better to have it in the black and white mode. There we're back in colors. See the brighter color picture in the background. So let's do a little bit of the fitness and we'll go to the apps. If we went into walking, this will actually tie into GPS. And so it's going to wait to acquire the GPS before it begins. Now that might be a little bit difficult indoors right now, so we're going to pass. But when it is working, it locks into GPS, and then it will do a 3, 2, 1 countdown and begin. Like this. And once it starts tracking the time. The heart rate monitor goes on, and it starts tracking your heart rate, your mileage, your energy, the total step count, and your pace. And it says right slide to get over to here. And here's more detailed information related to what we're doing in the run. This way doesn't do anything. And those are the elements that we've got. So how we get out of this, I'm not sure. There we go. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right. I can stop motion by pressing on that one. The other ones are similar workouts, but give you a little bit different data. Just to get a feel for them, we'll go into them. Looks very much the same. Heart rate, mileage, energy, step count, and pace. like so. That was a run outdoors, walking, run indoors. Let's get to mountain climbing. Here is where we might see some differences. Okay. We have our time and heart rate. Now we have a step frequency and energy with altitude and vertical speed. Those are different measurements. And then we have time and meters. Okay, all that. Just running through so you get a feel on them. Cross country will give us what kind of readings. And of course, all of these, I need to let them run much more, get altitude and pace this time, along with heart rate, mileage, and energy. Always have time up there. These are the categories we're capturing. Half marathon, full marathon. I'm just going to skip to full, so you get to, I imagine, it's similar between both of them. Okay, heart rate, last, energy, step count, and pace. 42.2 kilometers last. 73 times per minute, heart rate. Calories burned, kilometers per hour. And then cycling. Cycling is the one I like to put it on when I'm driving around in the car, because you get your mileage and stuff with it right there. Heart rate, energy, pace, and pace. Okay, so the sports section lets you access all those different sports and, like I said, set an alarm for distance every kilometer and track your history in the history section once you accumulate some. Now, let's get back here to the watch face. That was going to the left. When you go to the right, you get into the app drawer where you have clock, which includes a stopwatch, alarm clock, and a timer. Our settings we're going to come back to. Communications for your phone, messaging, and contacts. And once again, this is a standalone smartwatch. So you're going to put a SIM card in here, and it will give you all that calling and texting capability from the SIM card. It's not a tethering watch meant to tether to your phone for making phone calls. You can do that for notifications of things that happen on your phone, but you're doing your calling and your texting directly from the watch using the SIM card you put inside of it. And that's in there. Then you have a browser, which is just your basic browser that comes with it. You can always put in an alternate browser if you want to. I prefer Apis browser myself, which you can get from the Google Play Store, and that's that first page. Tools is a collection of a calculator and calendar. Basic calculator with what I like are pretty good sized digits, so you can see it relatively easily. There you go. No commas or anything, but it's a calculator. And then your calendar is just a really basic calendar. It shows you the current day of the week against the basic calendar layout. That's tools. This is your sedentary reminder information for getting up and walking around or drinking water. They're basically repeat alarms that will notify you to take those breaks that you should be doing. Our camera is on the side. This will bring up the image of the camera. And you can, of course, take a picture. Or you can shoot a short video. If I hit the button right. This is a little video. There we go. A little video of the screwdriver that comes with this device. And you can see the time at the top. That's elapsed. And then we tap it to stop it. And it's saving that. Now, I think if I slide over here, you have the video. You can probably not hear it too well. There is audio on there, and it's really soft, but it comes out the speaker from behind here. And you come over here to the picture, and there's the still picture. It does not support pinch and zoom, but it does support double tap magnify. Now, I was really close to this, so the focus is not that good. Better focus on the sofa over there. And I think wherever you tap is where it's going to zoom in on. Yeah. So you have double tap zoom, but you do not have pinch and zoom with the implementation of the camera on here. I guess we'll just get out of it this way. And then style is the layout of the icons in the app drawer. You have 3 positions here. You have singular, 4x, or circular. And then you can also change the skins to 2 different versions if you want the bright, colorful kind, or if you want the more business kind, traditional. Ooh, okay. I just got myself out of the grouping we were following, so I'm going to try to go back in there, style, and make it that one we were using, where you have 4 of them. That's the first page, the second page. Now to the third page, you have a watch manager, which is where you have access to downloads, if you download anything, and then your overall file manager. Now, when you get in here, we start learning a little bit more about the watch, that it really doesn't have very much memory in it in the way it's configured. It has 0.5 GB of RAM, and it has like 4 GB of ROM. Now, honestly, that's last year's technology, maybe even the year before. In a world where we now have common that watches come with at least 1 GB, sometimes 2 of RAM, and at least 8 GB and sometimes 16 of storage space, this is really limited to be coming in at 0.5 GB, 4 GB. Of that 4 GB, when you subtract out the operating system and whatnot, you're left with a total capacity of about 1.25 GB. And now I only have available 888 megabytes for apps and things like that. And with an onboard camera and no ability to put in a micro SD card for storage, it's really sad because you're going to run out of storage space very quickly. Major drawback, in my opinion, to this watch is the limited storage. Love the removable bands. Really happy with it being waterproof. It's okay, it's got a camera, but it's pretty much useless. You'll get about a minute, maybe 2, of video with that much storage if you don't put anything else on it. So, a shout out for an upgrade. We need a plus, we need an air, whatever suffix you want to put on it. We need more memory on this watch. 1 GB, 16 GB would be my ideal. You really don't need the 2 GB if you don't have a huge battery to accommodate that, but a good solid 1 GB of RAM and 16 GB of storage would be nice. We only have a little bit in here, and this is what's on here. I've added these app tech, there's my tech apps that I put on to test out these watches. And clock skin is the folder typically we put in for adding watch faces. Drawback number 2, I have not found a way to activate any of the custom watch faces using any style on this watch. It doesn't adhere to the normal clock skin folder. It doesn't support the VXP type watch faces or the old Kingware KW88 style of putting in APK files and running them like apps that would load up a watch face. It's totally dysfunctional. Although I've tried and tested every method, we can't customize watch faces. So at the end, I'll show you all the watch faces that are on here, and that's it. That's the selection that you've got, unless they do a firmware update that allows it. And like I said, A lot of the firmware I'm seeing on here is very similar to the implementation of Android 5.1 by other manufacturers, notably number one. So it really should be possible to have the clock engine in here as part of the watch to be able to put in custom watch faces. But as of now, it wasn't on the prototype. This is the official release now, and it's still not there. So limited memory, no watch face support. Put those check marks down. That was there. This is your audio center where you have a sound recorder and a music player. It's a basic sound recorder. We're testing out the sound recorder now on the H1 smartwatch to see how loud it is. Stop it. Save it. Go to the list and play it. Wow. You really have to put that up to your ear. I can barely hear it myself, and usually you can't hear it and I can hear it, and sometimes it's so loud we both can hear it. Really soft. However, with that said, remember you can always connect up to the computer and drag these files off the watch and then mess around with them there. Either boost them if necessary or run them through your amp and hear them much more clean. This is a music player for onboard music, not tethered music, music that you put in your vast 1 gigabyte of storage space along with your videos. Yeah. That would be audio. Multimedia, this is the gallery for your pictures, of which we have some. We also have some pieces for the watch faces that I attempted to put in there. Those show up. And then videos, if you have any, and we have the little clip that we just took. That's showing up in the Multimedia Center. And Maps is your overall Google Maps, tied in with the Google everything. That, by the way, you do need to update all of that stuff on the watch for it to work, and activate GPS, have that location services on if you're going to use the maps. But you're going to want to let it do its thing when you're connected to Wi-Fi to update the Google Play services. That's an important aspect of all of Google, and it needs updating on this watch before it can really be functional for you. So do that for sure. Next page, we've got voice search. And if you're set up, it should work. Here it comes, finally. What time is it in Washington, D.C.? Okay, you could hear that, right? So you see, there is a potential for volume coming from this watch. It's just that things like the sound recorder are dumbed down. Next, we move on to the Google Play Store. Now, a little bit of issue with the Google Play Store implementation on here. And we're going to show you some more features. There it is, and as you know, you've got corners, and there's menu in the upper left-hand corner that you need to tap in order to get into your stuff. Okay, it's a round display of a big square. When you press and hold, you come up to that wonderful thing that makes apps show up in a square inside the circle, with the exception of Google Play Store, because it's not a third-party app, it's an app that came with it. It's not reducing properly to fit in the square. So you can't get to that upper left-hand corner. Well, there's a kind of workaround, but you got to be careful with your thumb and finger. You can slide out from the side sometimes. There you go. See, I can pull the side out and I can bring my panel open. But if I do it too fast, I bail out of the app. So you got to mess around with that. It's another little glitch. Hopefully will be worked out. Some companies have fixed it. Others haven't. We see that appear all the time. Just remember, if you're really careful, you can get in there so that you can update your apps and do other things. Here's our Android. If you're going to tether to an Android phone, these are the supported things that will work. You can actually lock your phone from your watch with the Fun OS, the Tethering App, remote camera, connection, Fun Fit. There it is. It's the Fun Fit app. Scan that QR code if you want, or just go to the Google Play Store and look for Fun Fit, and you'll see what the Tethering app is all about. And these are the functions that are supported on Android. These are the ones, if you're an iPhone user, that will work. And there's only 3 of them. It's not as robust for iOS as it is for Android. And finally, More. More is where all of your other programs go that you install from the Google Play Store or from connecting to your computer. And we'll take a quick look at this one. The AIDA 64 tells us a bit about what's in this unit. Under System, if you look real carefully, you can see some of the basic stuff that we're running a dual-core processor. We've got, like I said, 0.5 GB of RAM and tiny amount of storage space. Here's the processor information. 2 CPUs, dual core, and its implementation of Android, I believe. There's the screen, 400 by 400 pixel. Telephone, battery information, Android. Okay, I mistook. I said it was running Android 5.1. It's really running Android 4.4.2. So yeah, this is like early 2016 technology that's in the watch. But they've done a bang-up job of remanufacturing and working on the case. So this is one of those situations where the hardware exceeds the software. A bump up in the operating system, a bump up in the memory, a little bit of tweaking on some of the bugs like the Play Store and such. Pinch and zoom would be nice, multi-touch capability for the onboard camera. I know you're not going to end up with a micro SD card in here. There's a SIM card slot, and it's all sealed. Notice that there's no screws in the back at all. The only way to get into it is from taking the front out and removing the whole guts of the watch. That's for waterproofing. So this is really for people who want to go swimming, diving in the water, definitely getting their watch wet in nature, but it's a little bit lame and limited in its capability from what it can do software-wise. But that's fixable. That's definitely fixable. Some of the other apps I've put in here, just for doing engineering testing and whatnot. Not going to do the Antutu testing or any of that business on this one. Check our first review on the JM01. That should all be the same. And finally, let's take a look at the watch faces. As usual, press and hold. We'll run through these, just give you an overview of them, maybe look at a couple of them. This is all you're going to get. This is kind of new. We haven't seen that for a while. Okay. Basic analog watches. This is different. The Earth from, where would you put that? It's off of the Carolinas or something? I'm not quite sure that that's an accurate map. I don't remember Florida hooking like that, but it is a watch, so creative license. Here's similar to that opening watch face, but with a couple of wheels in it. A drone! That's new. I haven't seen a drone before with camera. Friday, the date, the time. Okay, a little bit of creativity going. Now, you see the gears turning? That proves to me that the clock engine is in here to support a lot of the advanced mull rotate and some of the other stuff we've talked about in our training classes on creating watch faces. The technology's in there for interpretation, so it's just a matter of interface to be able to fix it so that custom watch faces will actually play on it. There's the snowman. This one has eluded us since the very beginning. You see the snow falling ever so slowly? Nobody has figured out how they do that, and we haven't been able to reverse engineer or extract out the code for this particular watch face. Yeah, and they're going at different speeds. See the snowdrops happening, snowflakes moving different speeds, blinking in and out. Drives us nuts, those of us that design watch faces. You want to know how do they do that. You just can't on that one. If anybody figures it out, please let us know. Here's a good one with overall data for you. Calories burned, steps walked, daytime, analog. Here's a nice Nike kind. We've seen that nice big bright display on a couple of other watches. And personally, that's the one I'd leave it on because it's easy to see outside, good contrast ratio, big digits. When you want to glance up and see what time it is, you've got it. You got the little movement thing here showing you your exercise, although I don't know if that's actually functional. I don't think so. I think it's just for display. Because you saw we don't have any data in the watch already, so that's probably just visual. A few more. There's a nice, look at the detail in it. That shows off the 400 by 400 screen. All right, we are just about through them all. There are quite a few, so I can't complain at the number of watch faces. It's just they're not my favorites. I definitely have others I would like. Okay, and that's the last one. You do not have that little plus sign either where you can tap it and tie into the server to download other watch faces that they offer you. So really all you have are what you see here. That's a bizarre one. I still can't figure the gauges and dial parts of this particular watch face. Come back to us. There you go. Yeah. Alrighty. What else can I tell you about this? Speakers down there, heart rate sensor. Oh, we didn't do the heart rate sensor or the settings, did we? Yeah, I guess we got a few more things to go. Let's come back up here. Actually, I can get to settings right there. So we have an internet connection for Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and GPS. That'll either say opened if it's connected or unopened. Oh, we have GPS turned on. Okay, so we're having high accuracy. But I'm indoors, so I may not be picking that up. That's why the fitness stuff didn't beep automatically. But if you're outdoors and you start it, you wait a few seconds for it to lock up, and once it locks up to GPS, it will start the countdown for the run or the walk or cycling or whatever. Power saving mode, and your screen automatically, and I'm not sure what that is in power save. It might be for the twisting the arm, but I think that's someplace else. Yeah, right here, lift wrist bright. Turn on or off for that feature. So I'm not sure what the other one is, but it's a power saving thing. Wireless and networks has to do when you put your SIM card in there. This is another drawback. Sorry, I'm trying to be honest with you. Things that I would not want to, I'm frustrated about. You have your date and time. You can select your time zone, but you have no way anywhere of changing the 12 and 24 hour. So everything is going to appear in 24-hour time. Hello? Come on. There's a lot of us countries that use the AM, PM style. And that's not available on this watch. It's also a frustration with number one in their D7, if you've been following that one, uses this exact same page, exact same layout. But there's no setting for shifting it to 24 or 12-hour time. Really frustrating. Okay, language and input. This is where, of course, you can change to a different language, and these are all the supported languages in this watch. Good number of them. Notice also the smooth scrolling. So I guess even though it's running Android 4.4, it's really cool, really good on how it can move with all of that. Whoops. Oh no, I just changed the language, I think. I'm on Dutch. Well, let's do English. United States. What did I touch? Set up input methods. Oh, okay. Different input methods. We're using the Android keyboard. And these are the 3 different Android keyboard. The Google voice typing and then a Chinese keyboard. Again, if this had 1 megabyte of RAM in it, you'd be able to do offline speech-to-text recognition. The fact that it doesn't, Google doesn't allow that, so you won't be doing offline speech-to-text, but you may be able to do it online. Okay, back into settings. Clear our notifications. Wow. Come here. There, settings. We were at language and input. I think we finished that. User info. This is where you can set all of the stuff for the sports fitness. But you saw over there, they've now added that to the settings in that section as well. But you change it in one place, it'll change in the other, I presume, and that will let all of your data calculations be correct for your information. Our volumes are up all the way, and this is what they sound like. Okay, not really earth-shattering loud, but pretty loud. Of course, I always keep those all the way up. The rest of it, the ringtones and all that stuff is the same. Display, we've seen the brightness and the sleep time that you can set. Here's where you can uninstall third-party applications that you've put in here. Okay. And security, if you want to put a screen lock passcode on it, you can. And you want unknown sources checked if you're going to be downloading software or apps from other than the Google Play Store. And it verifies apps to warn if there's any problems. Notification access, auto start management, and app permissions. That's all in the security section. Our SIM stuff is dimmed out because I don't have a SIM card in here. This is how you'd reset the watch if you want to do anything on resetting it. And then overall about the watch, which shows you that the storage space is limited to 4 gigabytes. I've beat that dead horse, so I'm not going to mention it again, except hello, 16 gigabytes, please, at least 8. Wireless update is where it will go out and check and do an update if you have one waiting. And I did do a firmware update, I believe, on this when I first got it. So there is one out there waiting for you. And when you have it updated, it's the H1, look for a build number of 2017, August the 8th, 0808, or newer, and then you'll be up to date on your H1. So that is the settings. And then we have remembering where everything is, going down here, 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 to here. After 3 seconds, if I don't move off this page, it automatically lights it up and begins testing the heart rate. And again, we've got a video up on pulse and the accuracy or lack thereof on these different devices. They're constantly changing the technology. Some have gone to 2 diodes with the basic sensor. Some have gone back to the 1 diode, but they've changed the formula for computing the heart rate. They're getting better, is all I can say. I would use it as a guide, but I wouldn't rely on it if you're needing to monitor your heart rate for medical purposes. Just saying, it's a watch, and it's a little add-on thingy that goes with it. It's kind of tied into the sports fitness stuff, so you can, you can kind of see what's going on as you're exercising and tell for yourself if its accuracy is better or not. Okay, that is the overall look at the watch. Then there's the Tethering App that all of this stuff connects with too. This app tethers to the FunFit watch app, which is available in the Google Play Store. And just to give you an idea, it's version 2.8.0, just released August 31st. So we'll see how that does over time. And what it looks like when you run it is this. It opens up with a picture. You say start using. It gets into the app itself. Here I should be able to synchronize the data from the band. I have gone ahead and tethered it, which you do over here. You connect the watch. It's connected with the H1. Here's a bunch of my other watches. And up here, you can either scan a barcode, which I don't see on the watch, or you hit that word scan, and that scans all of your available devices. You find the one you want, and you do the standard tethering. Okay, that happens up there. So let's begin at the beginning. This app on me gives you your information. Walking back and forth doing this, prepping for this review, I've used 8 steps. And it shows you that you're 100% better than yesterday. I like that. Basic information. There's 3 tabs here. So you can see what other data it collects. Performance for last week. Average performance and best performance is what we're seeing. Then the analysis section gives us sports data. And I presume you're going to get graphs there. Again, today we're just showing you an overview of the app that it tethers to without a lot of data. The middle button, which is usually the one that's selected, shows you your overall goal and how much you've completed. And I presume it's going to make a circle all the way around. Looks like it goes this way, 25, 50, 75, 100%. Your basic calculations there. You can change days here. It's got temperature showing. And then when you get to report, your overall activity report, your sleep report, your heart rate report are accumulated. And it looks like it's by date. And again, you can go change the date. Yeah, there's yesterday, there's today. So these are hours during the day, midnight, noon, and tomorrow, basically. And then more is where we did the connection. You can activate the Find Phone feature that you saw in here. You can tie in the camera video. All these need permissions, of course. The Notify app lets you set up all of the apps that you have running on your watch and decide which ones, on your phone, sorry, which ones you want to activate for push notification, and on and on. There's no easy way that I know of to select all. You know, that gate's in here where you need to turn FunFit on as an app that's going to allow permissions, but you can only toggle these one by one, not in a group, which was something I was hoping we'd see in an update, but it's not there yet. You know, all on, all off, or individual settings would be great. That's in the Notify app. Assist input. This is fun. You see the phone input mode is on now. So instead of using the tiny little keyboard here, if we are in, say, the browser, may as well show you this, huh? Let's go to the browser. And I'm in the search box of the browser. I could search on whatever I want. Text, anything. Donald Trump should bring back some results, right? There's his name. Here's the box, send. And just put the name, the search term here, and brings up, all of the search criteria and so on and so forth. And from there, you could go off. So you could make notes to yourself. You could use the Google interface. You could use it in browsers. You could use it in any app that you normally would need to type in, including putting in your password in certain fields where it's really hard to hit all these buttons. As long as you have that tethered, this is a really, really nice feature called the assist input. And then find watch. The find phone is the reverse. This is to find the watch. Makes the noise. There's the sound. It's not a very loud watch, I gotta admit that. Maybe for the waterproofing, they've got extra membranes in there. Your contacts, the setting up the SOS call feature so that it could cause the phone to place a call is my guess. Or if you've got the SIM card in here, it would initiate the call from the SIM card. Either way, you're not going to be talking through your watch from your phone's phone, okay? An overall user's guide and about the app and the watch. Check for new version you can do right here. And like I said, this just got updated yesterday, considering today's September 1st. Of course, it's not publishing today, but it's going into editing today, we'll put it that way. All right, that's more the report, the dailies, the analysis, and all about you constitutes everything there is about the FunFit app. That's it. So what do you say? You want an H1? An Android watch with removable bands that's waterproof, totally submersible? I think so. And you have a chance of getting it for free, directly from the manufacturer, Microwear. Here's the skinny. This is the contest rules for their giveaway. Simply follow this. I'll have the link in the show notes to take you directly to this page. And of course, it has all the information that you need there to apply for a free H1. And if you're interested in purchasing one, you can still pick it up at a really, really good price directly from the manufacturer, Microwear, simply by following the show notes. Okay, you've been watching Smartwatch Tics and learning a lot. Yeah, great watch, the H1. We'll see you again soon.